All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to BMW Goofy BMW building project. It's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everyone. 2023 Thanksgiving. I should probably be having dinner with the family, but I just wanted to work on this. I've been busy. So I ran El Mirage, seized, blah, blah, blah. It was a horrible trip. Lost an idler pulley in the van in the middle of, outside of Barstow. Had it towed, the van towed to my friend Armen's All-Star Auto Service in Rancho Cucamonga. And he's such an absolute stellar character. He stopped what he was doing and helped me fix it. And then I'd lost my day to tune out there, so the bike wasn't running right. Anyway, clicked to second gear and it just slightly scuffed the piston. But anyway, I want to leave that behind because it really pissed me off. So anyway, that aside, let's work on this. But back to land speed bike. I've got some plans formulating for this winter to get ready for next year. So I've got to get the dyno, which I haven't hooked up. I haven't gotten ready since I moved into the shop. I've got to get it set and anchored to the floor and running so I can get some stuff done with that. It's just disappointing to me, and I'm not going to tolerate it for next year. So anyway, so I got some lower A-arms done. Bing. So right now I'm just welding together some pads for the upper, and then we'll run upper A-arms. And then I'm going to run, this is a Yamaha R6 shock. And I don't know if it's even close. I haven't figured spring rate out or anything, or if I'm even going to use them. But I figured it'd be a good mock-up one. And I have one on that crazy off-road thing, so I'm going to pull that one off too. And so I'll end up, I don't know, maybe putting that like this somewhere. I don't know. I haven't really sorted that out in my head. But, yeah, that's about it on this guy. So, happy Thanksgiving, and see you next time. I got these bushings. I don't know what the hell they were for, but anyway, they'll go, of course, around each one of these, and then upper A-arm, lower A-arm. Made a little bushing for the ball joint thing. That's just a stock Subaru piece. And then I'll tie this in, and I'll make this adjustable so we can set camber. And that's about it. And then I got to set the wheelbase and make some probably I'll make I don't know, maybe I'll just pull those spindles out and re-drill and tap for the BMW bolt pattern, and then tie all this together, and we should have some rear suspension. So my game plan is to do a push rod suspension. So I've got some Yamaha R6 rear shocks, and I think the spring rate on those is 600 pounds or whatever. So I've got to kind of figure out a ratio for the knuckle, but I thought maybe I would just lay them across the top here, and then bell crank it down to that or something. Yeah. So making a little progress. Now with all the back kind of tied together makes the front all look very flimsy. Of course, it'll all be tied in with a roll cage, so it should be plenty stiff. I've been, trying to keep it as light as possible in the back, but I'm kind of guessing at the strength all this stuff needs. Of course, I'll box in the A-arm mounts, and then I made it so it bolts into the subframe. So this whole thing can come out, so I can unbolt the whole rear suspension and drop the transmission. And then the engine, I think I can just undo the bolts and it will drop out the bottom. So it should be pretty easy to access all this crap. Or something, so I've told myself. But I guess we're going to see. I don't know. That's where I am. Working on that. Okay, thanks. Alrighty, right. So, move these out of the way. I started laying out the upper A-arms, and they were off. I'm like, why in the hell are they off? So, I mean, they weren't off a lot, but enough. And I always have to worry that I'm putting machinist level tolerancing into a fabrication structure, which of course it doesn't need and you can't really chase. So it's always a constant battle in my mind of, am I going too far? But anyway, it was off enough, I wasn't happy with it. So, when I made this, this whole subsection, subframe area, whatever you would call it, bolts to the main frame. So I pulled it off and, put a square on it and everything, and it was just off, tweaked a little bit. So I wasn't happy with it, so I cut this back off, pulled everything in, tugged it in, cable strapped it all down, and then welded it all back together. Now it's pretty damn straight, and it's coming out pretty good. These same, are exactly the same length. So anyway, I'm going to finish off the upper A-arms, and then that'll pretty much get this, the suspension part of this done, and then I need to make the lay down shock area, which I'm not sure. I've got to put the transmission back in, but I had my buddy at Joel at Overkill Racing Chassis. He burned me a motor mount or an adapter plate to go from the BMW to the Subaru. So I've got to pick that up tomorrow. So maybe I'll leave it off long enough that I can get that done. But I'm going to finish up the suspension, and then I think that's about it. So I bought some wheel spacers. I think they're Subaru wheel spacers. I've got to press the studs out of them, and then I'm just going to machine the face to accept the BMW hub-centric wheels, and then of course do that BMW bolt pattern. So that should work for those, and then I can mount the wheels on them. And then that's about it. The only other thing I did is, since the transmission is going to be cable actuated, because there's no other way to get back to the shifter mechanism. I bought this shifter. It was an eBay deal. It was cheap, and I was thinking, well, if nothing else, I'll just copy it. But it's actually a machine. As cheap as it was like 180 bucks. And I'm like, it's machined really nice, and it seems pretty strong and whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. And then I bought a couple of push-pull cables. So I'm waiting on rod ends, and then I'm going to have to machine something that will adapt from that stop into here. And then, of course, make whatever mechanism back there. But, you know, that's a little down the road. And I think that's kind of the update of the day. This will be nice to get wrapped up and out of my hair for now. It'll be nice to actually get it on wheels and actually suspend it, and then I can finish off the front, and then I think probably put the body back on and then start on a roll cage. Yeah, that's it. Okay, we'll talk to you later. I had my buddy Joel at Overkill Racing Chassis. I had him laser burn some plates. And 2 half-inch plates. It worked out that the spacing was just right with, you know, flywheel clutch and everything. I don't remember if I covered this. So I used the Subaru flywheel and clutch and everything. So I'll use the Subaru starter and then just block off the BMW starter hole. But I kind of laid this out and had to make some clearance for the BMW side because the Subaru flywheel's bigger. So I had to cut a little counterbore, and then I just countersunk some holes and then squished it all together, got it all assembled. So I think it's going to work okay. So my next plan is I need to kind of lay out the bolt hole pattern and then just tack these together, and then probably end up welding it all together. Some gaps and stuff that I'm going to have to fill and clean up, and then drill and tap holes and get it all ready to go. But I think I've got enough clearance that I can get this all assembled. Some of the BMW bolts will come from the engine side, and then everything on the Subaru side will just bolt from this side. And then, of course, those counter screws and their counter bores, and there's 2 more on the inside. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Now, I don't know if I covered the suspension setup I was kind of playing with. So as this lifts up, it'll pull this and do the spring. So I was thinking of mounting it there. Kind of tucks stuff out of the way, gets things caught up. I might need to move this bell crank back a little bit so I've got plenty of room for the axle, because I'm obviously getting close there. So I'll probably move that back a little bit. But yeah, we're making a little progress. A little forward, a little back. Yeah, kind of slow, but that's all right. We got lots of time to do this job.